Hi, I'm Jo Martin and welcome to Jo&Co, your place for inspiration and information to help you change your corner of the world. Now, this episode is particularly relevant for the women among us, especially, although not exclusively, if you've had children. If you have felt your body change dramatically after kids and you're feeling like a lot of your energy, perhaps even your dignity, have been stripped away with your post-baby bodies, and it doesn't matter whether or not we're talking 3 months after having a baby or 3 years after having a baby, then you're going to love today's episode. Because today I'm welcoming a special guest, a dear friend of mine. Her name is Wendy Powell. Now, Wendy is the founder and CEO of MuTu System Limited. MuTu System stands for Mummy Tummy, M-U-T-U, Mummy Tummy. And Wendy is a physical, has a background as a personal trainer, but got particularly interested in mums and fitness. And in doing so, she realized that a lot of what was out there in the realm of in terms of fitness and recovery after having babies was actually downright wrong. Her clients weren't getting results, so she started to dig deeper. She looked into physiotherapy, physical therapy. She looked into all sorts of different arenas, which she'll share in this interview today, and discovered that there is a whole realm that we need to open up if we truly want to feel fit and strong and get our dignity back post-baby. So, no matter how old you are, whether you're just had a baby, 3 months, 3 years ago, or perhaps even 30 years ago, and you're feeling the impact of age on your body, today's interview is going to be huge for you. Wendy's an extraordinary woman. She's been featured on Fox Health News. She's a Huffington Post contributor. She's been featured in more women's magazines than you can poke a stick at, and received numerous awards for her extraordinary work online with MuTu System. Yep, that's right. It's all online, so you can check it out. I love this system myself. It's amazing and highly recommend it. When we had her at our BeVital program for our Lead the Change participants, when was that? Probably nearly a year ago now. She blew their mind. It's just the most powerful information that we just don't know about. No one talks about this stuff. So come with me as I introduce you to the lovely Wendy Powell. A big thank you and welcome to Jo&Co. It's so great to have you. I know that all of the ladies who witnessed your brilliance at our BeVital retreat last year have been talking nothing but MuTu ever since. Well, maybe not nothing but they really did love it.
All right, I like the first one, yeah.
And I know, being a second-time mum at the moment, I'm pregnant right now with number 2, with my body not quite having recovered, I think, from number 1. I know there's a lot of physical issues that we mums face, and we know in our community we have a huge number of mums, from toddlers right through to teenagers and beyond. What are the physical issues that we face as mums with our bodies?
Well, the physical issues really, I think, kind of centre all around our midsection, don't they? So it's kind of, we're talking about tummies that we don't like, tummies that don't look or feel the way we would like them to, maybe core issues, lower back pain, anything to do with that central area that, as I say, just doesn't feel, look, or behave quite as we would like it to. And of course, pelvic floor issues. So again, a pelvic floor that isn't literally functioning and working the way that we need it to, the way that we deserve for it to. So whether that's, pelvic floor issues can range from stress incontinence, from what we call urge incontinence. If you think about when you've just got home, you put the key in the door and it's like,
what is that? How does my body know? How?
It knows. So these symptoms of urge incontinence, and also of leaking a little when you sneeze, or when you run or when you jump. These are issues that are extremely common amongst women after they've had children. That doesn't mean to say that they are normal or we should accept them, but they are indeed very common.
Well, that's exciting to know that we don't need to accept it, because I would say, and certainly this was the case at BeVital, we discovered with the ladies there, wasn't it, that everyone had just taken it as a part of being
a mum, part of being older, a part of, just what our bodies do. And I mean, surely there must be a feeling that the answer is, I've got to go do Pilates, or I've got to lose a bit of weight, or something like that. Is that kind of a common thinking?
It is the common thinking, and it's not just common thinking, it's common advice too.
Right.
So both sides of that, the element that we should just accept this. And I mean, I know from experience that many women, they're told that by their doctor. Even
just
the doctor
getting old, love.
Yeah, kind of just deal with it. You had babies. And whether we hear it from well-meaning friends or our mothers or our sisters or whoever, there is a feeling that after we have birthed children, however that birth happened, and this certainly isn't a C-section mums don't get away with it either. They get away with nothing. So this happens regardless of the way that you birthed your baby. But we are led to believe that slight leakage at the very least is to be expected, is something that we should just accept and put up with. And the same goes for the way our tummies look, the way our cores work or don't work. And yeah, it's absolutely the case that whilst it may be common, whilst many, many women are experiencing these symptoms, and they are, we don't need to put up with it. And there is plenty that we can do about it.
It's not just a problem for new mums though, is it? Because I remember immediately after having James, I felt like I had no control over anything down there. But gradually, things restore, and especially when you get in and you do your MuTu and so on. But I've been shocked that these same issues are there right throughout. Does it get worse as we get older? Is there peaks of this sort of stuff? What do you see?
It's to do with hormonal changes as well. So yes, there are issues as we get older as well. But these are issues that aren't just immediately postpartum, and they don't just go away by themselves. I kind of tend to think of the words postpartum or postnatal as being somewhat misleading, because that leads us to believe that when we're out of that so-called phase, whether we define that as 9 months or 12 months after birth, as if we're supposed to be better after that. We're supposed to be all fixed.
Yeah.
And not only are we supposed to be better, but we're supposed to kind of stop talking about it now, because we're supposed to be over it, right? So there are many issues to do with post-birth that we're really supposed to be, getting on with things after a certain period of time. But quite frankly, if we're not fixed, if we're not put back together again, then we can be postpartum for 20 years.
Right.
So it's a very misleading term, I think, because it makes us think that that these issues are new mum issues, and they're not just new mum issues. And as you say, we're often encouraged that, well, if we either just accept it, or if we are going to do something about it, we need to just go do more exercise or harder exercise.
Yes.
So, for instance, there's a belief that, well, if it's my tummy that I'm concerned about, then clearly I need to do
more crunches
or harder ab exercises. Exactly. I need to do crunches. I need to do planks. I need to do more of that stuff. And so so women are going along to Pilates classes or to boot camp classes, and they're crunching away and planking away. And it's not working. And I know it's not working. And really what needs to be communicated is that in order to see what's happened is stuff has stopped talking to each other, right? Our brain, our heart has stopped talking to those muscles. We don't like the way they look and feel anymore. We feel out of control of the way that they look and feel. And so because of that, we do a couple of things. One is we just shut off. We kind of go, you know what, that's like not mine anymore. It's kind of the space we go into when we go for a smear at the GP.
Yeah,
it's like for those few moments, I'm here, I do not exist below the neck. And you know what, to do that for a few minutes in a surgery, that's one thing. But many, many women are doing that for months and years, and they're shutting off. And when we shut off from something physically and psychologically and emotionally, we've kind of stopped talking to it. So I very much believe in the experience that we've had through taking women through the MuTu program is that we cannot make a muscle stronger if we're not talking to that muscle.
Right.
And we have to sort of get back in touch. We have to reconnect with the parts of our bodies that we're not feeling great about. We need to understand what's gone on in there, to really understand what's happened and how to make it work better. As opposed to pounding it punishing it. It's like you will
Harden
you
up,
will do that, go harder, go longer. And it's because we get this all the time. It's kind of like, oh, I'm going to Pilates and I'm doing this thing, or I'm, and it's not, this isn't to say that Pilates doesn't work or isn't a good thing. It's a great thing, provided everything's talking.
Yes.
And so there's kind of this back step that we really need women to be able to make, which is just take a step back and kind of rebuild those foundations, rebuild that connection between brain and heart and body, so that we're talking again and we understand the muscles that we're trying to that we're trying to recruit. We can't recruit them if we've disconnected. So it's not about more and harder.
Yeah, it's so, this is, why you and I get along like a house on fire, because everything inside of our one of many community, every time we talk about being more effective as women in general, we talk about not going harder, not bringing more Superwoman, not thrashing the crap out of it and pushing through. Yeah. It's about actually reconnecting to your sense of power, and at a physical level, and indeed, as you say, a psychological and emotional level. So much of our power is in that kind of, pelvic floor, abdominal region. So much of it, and that we disconnect from it is a crime, not just because of what it does to our bodies, but also because of what it does to our sense of, of power in the world, that if we're just operating from here on up, we can't be as effective. But so you've said that this reconnection of communicating, with those parts of ourselves that we shut off from is so, so crucial. Is that what makes MuTu so different? Is there anything else about it that makes it kind of unique from these other things like Pilates or personal training or all of that sort of stuff? Because I know a lot of your clients do MuTu, get themselves connected, and then go and do all the exercise that they love anyway. But what makes your approach just so unique?
Well, the way we're coming at it, I created MuTu because I wasn't finding the answers elsewhere. So it kind of came from a place of personal training many years ago with women throughout the pregnancy and postnatal and way beyond phases of motherhood, and realizing that the strategies that they were being given, the techniques, the answers that they were given, and this could be from the guy in the gym or from a doctor or from a magazine, whatever. I kind of started to realize they weren't working, and you get to a point where you're like, how long am I going to keep training this stuff? The stuff I'd been trained to train. This is what I've been taught to teach. They're not getting the answers. It's not working. So I kind of went and looked in disciplines other than just straight fitness, if you like. So I studied in biomechanics, and I worked a lot with, and still do work a lot with, physical therapists and physios. And so it was to discover this kind of backup stage, this stage that we're all missing. We're all jumping straight to the exercise. So where kind of MuTu differs is that it addresses that right from the start. So it brings you back and it helps, but rather than just say, do this move, do this breathing exercise, this is how you do it. I'm a huge believer that I want to explain why, because the word empowerment is bandied around a lot, but it's like, I genuinely want to empower women to understand why they're doing this stuff. So I'm not just going to say, like, lie on the floor and do this exercise in this way. It's like, you're doing this so that this can happen. You're doing this so that you can connect with this. You're doing this because this muscle, this has happened to it, and this is how we get there. So there's a lot of elements to MuTu. And of course, if you prefer just the do this exercise route, you can miss those bits out. It's fine. Everybody learns differently. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, just tell me what to do. So all the options are there. But yes, so it's very much a sort of coaching process that takes you through rediscovering those foundations, understanding them truly, so that one of the questions that I'm asked a lot is, when can I do blank? And blank could be insert name of sport, name of activity, whatever. When can I do this? When am I ready to do this? And what I focus on teaching in the MuTu program is to help you know when you can do that. Because instead of me saying after X number of weeks or whatever, it's like, well, if it's feeling like this, if it's looking like this, if this is how it's working or not working, then you need to be here.
Yes.
And when am I ready to move on? Well, you're ready to move on when this and this aren't happening, and when this starts to happen. So it's all about, like, I want you to know. It's not just, me sort of giving technical instructions. And then the MuTu program kind of it follows through 12 weeks. There's a video coaching throughout that process. There are workouts, obviously. There are demonstrations and very, very clear instructions as to how and why you're doing what I'm asking you to do. And we talk about food, we talk about confidence, we talk about sexual confidence. It's very much a holistic process. This is not just it's not just a list of exercises, I guess is sort of where we're coming from.
And the thing that is so beautiful about it is it's all online, so no matter where in the world we are, we don't have to heave ourselves to gyms, we don't have to do any of that sort of stuff, so you can squeeze it in. I love all the pictures. I mean, I follow you guys on Instagram as well, all of the pictures of the MuTu mamas, with a TheraBand in one hand and a toddler in the other, and the kids doing stuff with the balls. It does become like that, and certainly with James and I, we do often, if I haven't got to it in the day while the bath's running, we'll do some what he calls yogurt, but actually we're doing MuTu on the bathroom floor, and it's heaps of fun. It can be, it's so wonderful because it can be worked in with our really busy lives. And God, show me a mum who is not uber busy, right? Exactly. So if the ladies want to find out more about putting their bodies back together after embarking on motherhood, whether that was 20 years ago or 20 months ago, or 2 months ago for that matter, where do they find out more about what you're up to, Wendy?
Well, our website is MuTuSystem.com. That's MUTU, comes from mummy tummy. MuTuSystem.com, and so that the website's on there. You can get all the information you need, all about we offer 2 programs, and there's a very clear instruction on which one would be suitable for you. And of course, you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram, MuTu System. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, ladies, I highly recommend that you do check out MuTu. It is unbelievable. All of the members of the One of Many community who have participated in Wendy's programs rave about it, like really. I mean, we're talking about women who've been putting up with, leakage and these sorts of things for years. You just lose your dignity, do you know? Yes. I run women's events, and I know I cannot go for more than an hour and a quarter to an hour and a half max without having a wee break, because everyone is literally sitting there. And if I try and get them to dance after that, no, not interested. So it's time for us to be talking about it. It's time for us to do something about it. And what Wendy's up to with MuTu is literally changing the world for we mums and helping us put ourselves back together again. Wendy, thanks so much for joining me on Jo&Co today. It's been great to chat to you, and best wishes with everything you're up to.
Thank you so much.
See, isn't she delightful? I just love Wendy so much. I love her work. Highly recommend you go check out MuTu Systems. Get your dignity, your pride, and your strength back as a woman inside a body that you love and that you care about. It's a really great next step. Without that physical strength, it's really hard for us to develop our psychological, emotional, and spiritual strength. So highly recommended, and I look forward to hearing how you go with it in the comments below.